I am back for the second time today. I now have so much makeup on. It looks like a morgue person did it, a mortician. I'm just trying to look alive. So this morning, I think I've said in a post before that I've been using sort of like horror podcasts and stuff like that, and like the really dark side of YouTube and podcasts and different stuff like that, and listening to Wendigoon and Plagued Moth, and those are my two favorite right now. They're really keeping me just alive, but also Hannah the Horrible and a couple of different people. So I don't hate against anyone. Nexpo, Eudoxia Mysteries, whatever it is. I love them all. I love you all. You are keeping me alive. But what I was thinking is, every time we keep hearing like these iceberg videos and like the videos about crazy things that happened, it's always like very similar stuff, and it's related to CP, or it's related to murder, or it's always like murder mystery and this and that. And going through withdrawal in the last couple of days or whatever, it's just kind of made me realize how dark drugs really are. And then I had a thought. So I run a Reddit, Moms on Suboxone, and there's only like 30 something members, and they're just cheering me on as I'm going through this, basically. But I was thinking about my first experiences of learning about drugs on the internet, and there was a website back in the day that was, well, it's still a website, but when I was on it, it was like 2003 or 2004, which probably sounds like a million years ago for you guys, but it looked like just a shitty forum from back then. And it was a harm reduction site. So it was to talk about drugs, but not in a way that they were necessarily promoting them, but it was like, we know you're going to do it anyway, so this is how you bang your bang. Like, that's basically what the website was. A lot of people talked about their withdrawal. A lot of these people who were on the website were not withdrawing out of choice. It may have been that they did not have the money, they did not have their contact, something happened, so they would have a couple days where they felt really bad. So the first time that I can't tell if my children are fighting or playing. Hey, share! Oh my God, what was I just saying? I'm doing the same thing as this morning. As soon as I say something else, Oh, okay. The first time that I stole some bills from my mom, and I wanted to like see what they are and the numbers on them and stuff, and the internet wasn't what it is today, where you can just like Google the number and it would just like pop up with the pill and the uses and the side effects and the whatever. So there were forums like this where you could go, to other addicts and ask, and my questions became different. How many of these hydrocodone can I take at a time? Because I did have a short a short time that I took pills, also in my teens, because my mom, that adopted me, actually is an addict too, because she is my maternal grandmother. So it really turned out that my whole life I've just really been around addiction. So it turned out that at that time I could take about 14 without dying. I got up to a pretty high number, but I remember that there was a gentleman on the site, and his name was Mr. Flowers. I'm not going to give out his whole name just because I don't want, you guys to, I don't know, look stuff up and go put mean comments or something like that, because these people on this website, and there are how many users on this website? I don't know if it says. If you go in the Wayback Machine, this forum was started in 1997, and it was a way for, you know, if you don't really know what the term blue light means, it's like it's a harm reduction. If you, you know, when you go into needle exchanges and stuff like that, it's things that they know that you're going to use the drugs anyway, so let's make it safe for you. I was going to take that Vicodin anyway, but I just wanted to see if I really could potentially harm myself. And a lot of people commented and basically said that, you know, you'd be fine, and Vicodin is mostly just this and that. And I didn't know about like heroin and fentanyl. And you have to consider I'm young also in 2000, like 2003, 2004. So I would have been 16, kind of exploring drugs and reading this stuff. But one of the things that I couldn't really grasp at the time was when these people were going without the drugs, because I did things so casually. It was never really an addiction necessarily. So it's like if I went a couple days without, you know, using pills or something, I wasn't actually going to go through withdrawal because I wasn't dependent on it. I didn't take them frequently enough, or I didn't take enough, or whatever it was. But for whatever reason, I never experienced it as a teenager. So I would read Mr. Flowers' vlog, and basically a little bit of history was he was in pain management, and he was getting his medication taken away from him. And he was going to basically, he was on another thread where you would talk if you were thinking about maybe possibly not wanting to be here anymore. And that's how desperate he felt once he had that medication taken away from him. And what I was saying before is these people are not, these people are not all degenerates, and this can happen to anyone. I think I'm a good example of just like a middle class housewife who developed an addiction. So I'm, sorry, this is falling out. Yeah, I think it can happen to anyone. I am glad that websites like this do exist, because they also have resources. Let's read their vision statement real quick. Blue Light is an international online harm reduction community committed to reducing the harms associated with drug use. Blue Light neither condemns nor condones the use of drugs. Rather, we accept that drug use will always exist, irrespective of legal status or societal norms. While there is no truly safe way to use drugs, we understand that prohibition and abstinence are not realistic or desirable solutions for everyone, nor have they been adequate in addressing the serious public health concerns associated with drug use. Blah, blah, blah. While there is no universal definition of drug-related harm reduction, Blue Light believes that through frank and open discussion, we're able to deliver accurate information, eliminate misinformation, and empower individuals to make wiser, more responsible choices. So basically, this is what I'm going to tell you. If you've ever gone to a doctor for help with a drug addiction, you can just take whatever they told you and just blow it out your ass. They have no idea what they're talking about. My doctor right now, that is monitoring my withdrawal, I'm forgetting the word, I have such bad memory loss right now, told me that I am going to have about 7 days of discomfort. Now, I'm on day 7 and I haven't even peaked of how uncomfortable I am. So sometimes, I mean, my doctor is a wonderful woman. you know, I bet she really thinks she knows what she's talking about. But unfortunately for forums like this, all of us addicts turn to each other. We turn to each other to find out how to use safely when we're in a bad spot, and when we need to find information about getting to meetings and stuff like that, it's on here too. Blue Light also hosts a robust recovery community for those seeking a way out of drug use and addiction. So it was a good site. It is a good site. I don't reference it anymore because I feel like I know enough about what I use that I kind of, you know, I'd be one of the old farts on there giving advice now. And I'm just not into, I don't have enough time out of my withdrawal from Suboxone to be giving anyone fucking advice about anything. But what I wanted to do was just read some of this stuff because it's really sad. So on the website, there is something that is called and I'm shaking really hard from just withdrawal stuff. Just ignore it. I look crazy. So there is a blue light vigil. And where did it go? Blue light shrine. Is it shrine? So either way, there was a post where Mr. Flowers said that he didn't have any medication left and he felt like dying. And I didn't know really what that meant yet. I remember reading it and I remember trying to imagine his desperation. And at that point, it's sort of like reading from a character, reading about a character in a book, I guess. I don't know what it was. It was just like a fascination. I wanted to imagine what he was going through, and I wanted to kind of just like delve into his life and depression a little bit. And he just didn't find a reason to live without drugs, and I think that that's terrifying. So well, people are giving you, you know, mystery stories and stories about getting caught in caves and everything else. I think that this is equally scary, to have your body addicted to something that sometimes you literally can't get off of it, and unfortunately you end up passing away. So let's get to, I'm looking for, okay, let's see where the rest of the shrine is. Here it is. Blue light shrine. Now, if we go down to Mr. Flowers, I'm gonna find him here. Now there's a lot of people there's 250 people who have died, who use this forum for harm reduction. I guess in their case it didn't work, or a lot of them are suicides, and I don't want anyone to think I'm disrespecting anyone, because obviously if you're watching me hold a drink here and shake, I'm going through my own bullshit. So I'm no better than anyone else, and I know that in my heart I am no better than anyone else. Mr. Flowers, may you find peace. Now, like I said, when I was first looking this stuff up, it was like 2004, 2005 or whatever. He died in 2015. I'm going to read this. It says it was an unknown cause of death, but it was actually an overdose. A good friend and fellow blue lighter, Mr. Flowers, was found passed away on 1/10/15 with an unknown cause of death. I spoke with his father in the past 2 days. He would like to leave this thread open for friends to grieve and bring happy memories of his son. Nick, aka Mr. Flowers, we had so much to talk about. The good, the bad. We would just goof off and shoot the shit. So many texts, private messages, and of course hilarious phone calls. You are one of a kind. You will be missed, man. Fuck, I can't believe you're gone. I cried like a baby when I got the news. I will visit this thread daily. I am very choked up writing this. Much love. Find your peace that you deserve. Now in 2015, I'm busy raising kids and everything else, and I haven't checked on what happened to Mr. Flowers, right? But then fast forward to 2017 when I'm starting to have all of my surgeries and I'm on, all these different medications that I've never heard of before. And I know that they're opiates and I know that, so I got back on the forum. And for the heck of it, I checked out to see how Mr. Flowers was doing. And he ended up taking his own life 2 years before I checked to see, it was an overdose, but it was a very obvious suicide overdose. I'm not going to give a ton of details. That's sad and that's scary. And that's scarier than, being murdered, because the odds of you being murdered are far less than you becoming an addict or this being one of your children going on this website to find out how to shoot up safely. So it can happen to anyone. So on the Mr. Flowers, I'm going to do a little circle for you if you can keep up, and I'll put screenshots in so you understand. But on Mr. Flowers' memoriam, because there is a memorial for every user that dies that they are aware of. So Captain Heroin is another one who's been there pretty much from the beginning, and he is really big into harm reduction. He takes it really seriously, and he's helped to moderate a couple different things he did. So this is January 16th, 2015, and this is what he wrote on Mr. Flowers' memorial on the Blue Light Vigil Shrine. Why can't I remember that word? Shrine. Captain Heroin said, "Rest in peace. Really sad how many members we have lost. I remember all of your heartbreaking posts in the suicidal thread. I hope someone beats this and lives to tell our tales." That's the saddest statement. These people hope that they can break out of this and that other people around them can break out of this. They don't want to be finding out how to shoot up safely into their ball sack. This is not the life that, this is not a glorious thread about a great life. This is one of the darkest places on the internet, and it's a nonprofit on the normal web. It's not the dark web. It's not a red room. It's people literally torturing themselves, paying other people to be tortured. I think next time I'm going to read some of the meth stories, because those are interesting. Now, if you remember the name that said Captain Heroin, I want to go back to this shrine and in memoriam of Captain Heroin, and he passed away May 5th, 2021. I have confirmed with his family, Captain Heroin, who has been a senior moderator here for so long, has recently passed away from a tragic OD. He has helped me for very many years with harm reduction, along with countless others. He helped me laugh when no one else could. I'm smiling because I'm happy someone loved him that much. It is with great sadness I announce this to the BL community. I am weeping. And there are so many posts. And it kind of went full circle. He posted on Mr. Flowers' page and says, I hope when someone can get out of this. And from 2015 to 2021, obviously he couldn't. This is, it's really dark. I want to find some specific stories to talk about from this website, and I'll use the Wayback Machine to get some that are, really, really far back before we had the information about heroin that we do. I don't know. I want to just end with saying that everyone that lost their lives, I am so sorry to your families, that you were that sad and you felt like no one was there. Some of you are the reason that some of us share so openly with our problems. Because if you feel like you can relate to me, maybe there's a reason to stick around, because if I can do it, maybe you can. I don't know, but this is it's really, really sad. And the reason so many ODs happen, the reason there's 250 people who have passed away, some of them are suicide and they leave notes. But other times they've been sober for so long that they try and use the same amount they used to use. And unfortunately, that's not how your body works. So if you use a bag of heroin a day for 6 months and stop using it for a year, and then try and use a full bag of heroin, you're not gonna make it, my friend. So if you or a loved one needs help with harm reduction and they're gonna do the drugs anyway, bluelight.org is a really good website. I don't suggest delving too much into the sad stuff, if you don't have to. But I have morbid curiosity. I want to see what happens, really, if I don't get my shit together. I really, really want to see, because today's my 7th day in withdrawal. Some of these people scare the shit out of me, because they're me, just in a different state or place in their life. All right, well, have a lovely day, and I think next time we're gonna go and read some crazy meth stories.